I've been gone for a long time. Apparently I've only uploaded 3 videos over the past year, which isn't okay, because second year has been a completely, different time for me. It was completely different to first year for me. And I sort of know what I want to do with myself now as well, which is completely different to where I was last year. Also, I'm not doing any English or history last year, and I applied initially to university for a history and English course. So, my life is different. Maybe I should be telling you about that. Also, the other day I was watching some old videos, and I got really nostalgic about that. You remember that shitty little, with the rainbow and the Kieran Kaleidoscope? I've got really nostalgic for that. I really like that. I'm not going to bring it back, because as many people have said, it was like bad porn. Second year, incredibly different time for me than first year. I haven't spoken to you over the course of second year, really, so hello, this is me speaking to you about second year. What was second year like for me? Well, I became basically a politics student, which wasn't something I was really expecting. It gradually, was emerging over the course of first year, but it still wasn't, I couldn't commit to it, basically. And now I'm at the point where next year I'm doing basically all politics with some geography modules because they relate because of sustainability, but I'm dropping history and English, which is strange to me because I applied to university to do a history and English course, and now I'm like, no, fuck off. My logic with that was, one, doing English this year, I didn't get anything from it. Sorry to English students, the seminars were pointless, I didn't get anything from them, it was just people going around like, I think this about this text, and it's like, actually Michael, do you know what, I disagree with that reading of that text, I think this about this text, and so on and so forth, which was incredibly frustrating, and I didn't feel like it was advancing my learning in any way, shape or form. History, I still really like history, but over the course of this year I have discovered I cannot write history. My history lecturer he kept coming up to me and like, oh Kieran, you're really good at history, you should do this for your dissertation, and I'm like, this is the only subject I'm getting 2 2s in. With respect, Chris, I'm not good at history. Or not good at writing history at the very least. So I'm dropping history, I'm dropping English, I'm going heavy with politics, which may or may not be a surprise to you, but I suppose if you look at most of my videos you can see there was an emerging political thread within them. Basically in first year I took 1 politics module because I wanted to still be doing some philosophy, because I really should have been doing a philosophy course really, and I did that 1 module and was like, oh actually politics is quite cool, and then I did 4 politics modules this year. 1 about challenges to governance in the Middle East and North Africa, 1 about land, fuel and conflict, 1 about radical democracy in theory, and 1 about democracy in practice. And it was those last 2 that really put it in for me that I knew I was interested in politics now. Radical democracy in theory was run by the same person that ran that 1 politics module that I did in first year, and it's basically developing, do you remember my meta ethics and philosophy for something or other series? Basically, it's developing on ideas like that, but they got so much cooler. So, I learned about things about, time and agency and the philosophy of science and complexity theory and systems theory, incorporating the environment into governance in a paternalistic way. Basically, it was the coolest module ever, and it introduced me to people like Bergson and Deleuze, and it gave me some more Foucault, who I really like already, and Jane Bennett and Sarah Ahmed, and Ahmed maybe, but yeah, it was a great module, and I was like, oh yeah, this is really interesting, and I wrote a really, if I say so myself, a really good essay for that module, and I was like, okay, I like this, I'm good at this and I like this, I'll keep going with this. And then I did radical democracy in practice in second term, which is basically applying those ideas to a practical consultancy with the local council. We were helping them, we were in a group, we were helping them to produce research that would go towards their NEPA plan, which for those of you who don't know, under the 2011 Localism Act, town councils and local groups can make this thing called a neighbourhood plan, which is basically you identify areas for development, the type of development that can happen and things like that. Particularly important in both rural communities and Cornwall and student communities, which, hey, all 3 of them here in Penryn and Falmouth, because basically developers want to shit all over you and build everything everywhere, which isn't great. We did a consultancy with Penryn Council, and that was really interesting, and I discovered that I'm into social research and local democracy, and then to feed back that information to the council, we made this thing called Penrhinopoly, which is basically, as it sounds, it's Monopoly but about Penryn. We used the research to produce this board, which was based on people's routes through the town, and everyone's like, it's Mayfair, really, Adster? We fed back the information. Every time you landed on a square, you'd have to pick up a community chest or chance card, and on those cards there would be a piece of information that we had discovered through the research, and we used those as talking points to get the council talking. Our idea was basically, we thought we could cut through their presupposed ideas of Penryn, because they've all lived there for quite a long time, and we did. It was great, and Since then, things have just been spiraling, really. EU Association of Local Democracy Agencies is producing this, like, local democracy engagement kit, which helps to make people feel a part, like, citizens of both the place that they are a citizen of and the EU, and we submitted Pen Monopoly to that as a potential method of increasing engagement, and we're part of that now. In November, we're going to be running the same thing again with the University of Exeter's Festival of Social Sciences, but with a different community, basically helping them to produce another game. There are 3 other councils that are interested in it, so basically, like, I'm the hot shit in local democracy right now. And I even got a job sort of based off of it. I'm brand manager for Frontline now. I talked a lot about Pen Monopoly in my interview and in my application because, like, it was a cutting edge piece of research. That's where I am now. I'm really interested in working in local democracy and social research, and I also sort of know what I'm doing now. I'm also the community officer for our students union. Yeah, it's a good time to be me. That was second year. It was great. It was fun. I did quite well. I'm on a 68.75, so, like, maybe a first next year, maybe? At some point in the future, I want to make videos about shit like Bergson and Deleuze and stuff like that, because, I mean, I think everyone quite enjoyed my philosophy for, what the fuck was it called? Philosophy for Cretins! That's a great name! Yeah, basically I want to revive Philosophy for Cretins, and talk about Bergson and his model of thinking and how that relates to modern neuropolitical research, Deleuze and his idea of the rhizome and rhizomatic thought, and how we can use that to deconstruct things. Apparently I did enjoy YouTube, I just didn't think I did. So, goodbye. I will probably be back quite soon. I'm gonna have to edit this. Do you remember the days when I didn't edit things? That was nice, because I could just upload it and everyone would be like, wow, it's so innovative that you're just, like, not editing things, and I'd be like, no, I'm just lazy.